Hello, Lodge at the Mountain Village Homeowners. My name is Jason Linder, and I'm the Vice President of Sales and Marketing for All Seasons Resort Lodging. This presentation is a recreation of the presentation I gave in December at the Lodge at the Mountain Village annual Homeowners Association meeting, where I did an update on the rental program and how we're doing. As I know many of you were not able to attend, I thought I'd record this and get this out to you so you could watch it as your time allowed. And it is now February, so I apologize. Some time has passed. I have been more focused on the priority of maximizing revenue for the property during the winter season, which I'm assuming you would agree is a good use of my time. So since some time has passed, I'm going to blow right past this first section. I believe, as you're well aware, the economy is doing quite well and is conducive for travel, especially in the upper income demographic. I will mention locally something that is current news here is the weather. Snow kind of trumps all. We are a ski destination, of course, and as you may or may not be aware, the winter so far has been pretty dismal, to say the least. Never seen rain like this in the middle of winter before. So that's starting to have a bit of an impact. However, I will say that our numbers are very strong for the winter, so overall it has not had much of an impact. I don't think it's helping anything, but our bookings are strong. We're starting to have guests talk about it more. We've had some people want to cancel and are asking about the snow conditions. But hopefully, it's February now, hopefully we're still going to see this turn around and become an asset for us. If that does not happen, if things don't really pick up much, we're currently being much more aggressive for our spring bookings, which is mid to late March and through, to get as much business on the books as we can. Okay, so having said that, let's jump right into how we are doing at the Lodge of the Mountain Village, which is most important and what I'm sure you are interested in. So we're going to talk about a few different things here, looking at revenues. First, annual gross revenue for the property. So you can see since we started in 2010, we've had good, consistent growth, 14% our first year, 2%, 7% this last year. 2014 was our best year ever, and good growth right there. This graph is a little misleading because, wow, only 2%. I look at that in my role as not very successful. However, that's misleading because our inventory count dropped significantly at the lodge during this period, either as owners went to VRBO, rented themselves, or went to a crash pads or something along those lines as we reduced inventory based on our minimum standards program. And so we saw our inventory go from, I don't have the number right in front of me, but we saw it go from approximately upwards of 110 units here down into the range of around 90, which is where we've stabilized through these years. So if I look at this as a revenue per available room, RevPAR, which is really the metric that's most important, especially in a property where inventory fluctuates. Now we look at the same years and we see that we saw 8%, 9%, 13%, and then 6% this last year. So really good growth when we look at it from a revenue per available room, which means more money in each of our owners' pocket, ultimately is what that means per year. Moving on, winter pace comparison. I'm going to blow past this because this is a little irrelevant since this is now very dated information, but what it shows is that we were, as of December 3rd, we were pacing very well for this coming winter. And then premium versus standard inventory. So this shows in 2014, there were gross returns by unit type for a standard rated, which is the light blue, and a premium rated, which is the dark blue. So here we see that I really like these larger percentage gaps where a premium hotel made 36% more than a standard, studio 23% more, one bedroom 20, 13 for a two bedroom, 23 for a three bedroom, 64% for a four bedroom premium over a standard. I don't really like these numbers, the two bedroom 13%. I'd really like to see these above 20. Part of the challenge here is that the lodge is very popular. These two bedrooms are very popular. So when the whole house is occupied, that means the standards and the premiums are occupied at a near equal level. So it's a little bit harder for us to to drive revenue into those premiums. Having said that, however, it's something that we're constantly working on and want to continue to push that. As we'll discuss in just a little bit here, the condition of the units has a huge impact on our guest reviews, which is extremely important to the property. So anything we can do to continue to push the premiums, get guests in those units, and encourage owners to upgrade is very beneficial to everybody. So moving on, that was how we're doing at the Silver King. This year, I wanted to focus more heavily on what's new and improved because there's a lot of new things going on this year. The very first thing is our new booking engine, and we invested heavily into our new system. This is a screenshot of the booking process. What's most important here, though, is what you do not see. We invested in this system because it allows us to have a full two-way connection from our reservation system with inventory from our reservation system to our booking engine, all the way out to Expedia, Orbitz, Travelocity, Priceline, Booking.com. So they have live inventory, live length of stay restrictions, promotions, and rates, most importantly. And then when a booking happens at that end of the chain on Expedia, it instantly comes back into our system and then instantly comes back into our reservation system. So there's a very short time lag between that happening. So what that allows us to do is have our best inventory out there, sell our last unit availability, allows us to avoid overbookings much more at a greater level because that connection is being updated instantaneously. But most importantly, it allows us to yield much more effectively. We pride ourselves on managing our rates and restrictions and promotions very similar to an airline. We change them. I probably average about twice a week where I'm updating rates, restrictions, promotion levels. So with this two-way connection, I can update it, and it's instantly out in the open market. So that really allows us to take advantage of our revenue management strategy. This screenshot, this is the second step of our checkout process where we work on upgrading the units. So in this example, we selected a standard hotel room, but then they get to the next step, and we talk about enhancing their stay for only $24 and moving into a premium or moving up to a larger room size. New meta booking capabilities. This was another advantage of our new booking system. Meta bookings are kind of revolutionizing a bit. They're changing the landscape of how lodging is booked. So you have the traditionals, Expedia and all of those, and now you have, I'm sure you've heard of Kayak, and then you have TripAdvisor. You can now book direct on TripAdvisor, Google, and some other sites. And these meta sites are aggregators. They bring in, they connect to us differently, and they aggregate all the rates from different sources. And before, we could not participate in this area with our old system. So when you come to Kayak, you'd only see Expedia, Booking.com, Travelocity, Orbitz, etc. And when someone books there, we pay a 25% commission. So we want to, of course, reduce that as one of our overall strategies. And now with our meta booking capabilities of our new system, you can see the Lodge of the Mountain Village here at a lower rate, and that's a direct booking. So rather than paying 25% here, it's a direct booking. Naturally, however, we have to pay for this reservation to Kayak. So we pay them a 15% commission for this reservation, which is still a lot, but it's a lot better than 25%. Very few of our competitors can do this at this point, so it's a nice advantage for us and a way as we continue to look to drive rate and revenue. A large investment for us this year was in our online reputation management. I mentioned about the importance of guest reviews. If you were not aware, guest reviews are now the number one factor in where a guest chooses a stay. Number one, over location and price, which used to be the leading on where someone would stay. Now people really look to what other people are saying about a property when they're making their selection. So it's very important that we manage this. monitor it, try to drive our score up, especially at a property that's been around longer, like the lodge, where we need to make sure that people are saying positive things, and we're managing that effectively. So we invested really heavily in this Review Pro, this online reputation management system that aggregates all of our reviews from Expedia, Orbitz, Travelocity, Priceline, Booking.com, TripAdvisor, brings them all in together so we can instantly see when a review comes in. We get notified. The GMs get notified. So we're on top of the reviews a lot more, and we can respond to them through here too. It's very important that you respond to your reviews, which our managers are responsible to responding to all negative reviews, and we encourage them to respond to many positive reviews as well, because guests like to see that. Okay, so what we're looking at here, Global Review Index. This is the Lodge's overall score out of 100, 73.6%, which is okay. It's not where I'd like to see it, but it's not terrible either. It's pretty good. And a positive here, this is a year view, we were up 2.7% in the year, so that's a great trend. We had 212 reviews during the period. Our competitive quality index, we're at a 92%, which the index here is 100. So the index means 100% means we are equal to the average of our competitors. So at 92%, the Lodge has an overall review score lower than our competitors. Positive, however, is we're up 9.8% during the period, which is fantastic. And now lastly, if we look at this competitor average, our competitors that we have listed here are at an 80%. We're at a 73, so we're below there. The positive here is that our competitors went down 6.2. So while they went down 6.2, we went up 2.7, and then that's how you get that larger increase when you look at it from the index. Now if we look at our competitors, this is who was entered for this analysis here. We have our competitor average is 80, like we saw on the previous screen. We're at a 73.6. Marriott Mountainside's at an 87. Park Plaza, so I don't think that's the best one to have on here. Is at an 83, pretty impressive actually. Shadow Ridge at a 76. Treasure Mountain at a 70, and then Zermatt at an 81. Not sure Zermatt should really be in here either, but if it is a good benchmark of a full service hotel and some scores. I think Silver King should be in here for one. But anyway, the point is there. Semantic analysis. This does two things for us. One, it shows us when our reviews are coming in throughout the year. Greens being positive, red being negative. So we can tell when we are getting bad reviews. What's very interesting to note here is we get hammered in the summer. That's when the majority of our reviews happen. And a large part of that is in relation to air conditioning and frustrations that guests have there. So it allows us to better see and identify and then address issues. Semantic mentions means what this system does is it takes themes, keywords like bed, room, location, and anytime someone says those things, it brings those scores in together and allows us to see what people are saying about a certain area. So, for example, here's our top positive and negative mentions for the property in the last year. So room was the number one at 65, but more importantly, it was our top negative mention at 21 reviews. So 21 negative out of 65 positive is not a very good ratio. And then bed had 9 positive, but 10 negative. So that's a very bad correlation there. So where we're really getting hammered, and then hotel 5, building 5, harder to do things about those. You know, the layout of the building has some challenges. But where we're really getting hammered on is the condition of the room and bed. You know, we can do everything right, but if they open the door and they see a dated room or a dated bed, then that's much more difficult to overcome. And then you can go down the list and see. Top overall mention, or I guess almost top, was location. No surprise, fantastic location. One person had something negative to say about it. I'm not sure what that would have been, but you can't please everybody, I guess. So now as we look at some of the reviews by category, under rooms, some of the rooms are dated and should not be made available, small and poor quality rooms. The rooms we had were very dated and not well maintained. There's a lot of dated mentions here. Small and poor quality rooms, room shabby. Room was one that hadn't been renovated in 30 years. So those obviously really hurt us. The layout of the hotel, can have some challenges, obviously, with having to walk between different buildings. The room was clean but very small. Beds that we talked about, getting those large number of negatives. Bed was very uncomfortable. Beds were not comfortable. Bed was absolutely horrible. Bed was uncomfortable. Carpets. So I think you get the point. I don't need to go on and on here. The facilities, like we talked about. Hotel was terrible. Walls were thin. So these, those reviews, there's obviously something we need to work on, and that ties right into our enhanced minimum standard evaluation. Where we're getting hammered is the rooms and the beds, and that's something we can control with our owner's help. We do a minimum standards evaluation every year, and this year we really improved our system, and it took quite a bit of effort, and we revamped our system to where we could really provide details and evaluate and rate every single thing in your unit so you can see where you are getting good scores and negative scores and where you could make improvements. And then we weigh these differently. So a bed, for example, we weigh much more heavily than your alarm clock or something. So if you have a bad bed, you're going to get hit hard. It's almost impossible to be a premium if you have a bad bed or some of those negative considerations. So this last year, it took us a while to get this out. I think we got it out. It wasn't until summer. This year, we already have ideas on how we're going to improve this, so you'll see those reflected. And then I believe our goal is to have these to you in hand by May, so we have more time to address them and make any enhancements. I know one thing that was discussed during the HOA meeting was really trying to move everyone to our bedding package rather than having comforters that can look dated and dirty, and really moving everyone to our white bedding. I'm sure you've noticed that at many hotels these days where you just have that really white, clean comforter. All sheets are cleaned every single, so there's that just makes the bed feel much newer, cleaner, and nicer. Okay, so another new thing here, or focus for the year, expanded direct booking initiatives. Anything we can do to get people to book direct costs us significantly less than when they book on Expedia. So we're really trying to do everything we can to have people book directly with us. Here's a few things we're highlighting that are new this year. Pre-arrival concierge service. This is new and great where if you book direct only, you're going to have access to our great concierge team who will make a phone call about 48 hours after reservation to introduce themselves and offer complimentary services, which are truly complimentary and can save them a lot of money. Offering them services and recommendations, whether it's on transportation, ski rentals, activities, etc. And then our concierge follows up again a couple weeks prior to arrival to offer additional services or answer questions on restaurants, get some groceries delivered to their room, whatever it is they want. The point of all this is it's only made if you book direct with us and not through a third party. And so an advantage of booking direct. And it's being very well received. Two pieces here. This is a promotion that we're running this winter. More snow, less dough, which means if you stay 5 nights or longer, we're going to give you $100 off. There are some blackout dates, but in general, this is live and valid. And if they book direct for a longer length of stay, they're going to get $100 off. They're not going to get this when they book on Expedia or anywhere else. And would gladly give them $100 rather than 25% to Expedia of a $3,000 reservation. that really drives up our overall rate, and it's something that Expedia can't track. So it allows us to have parity in the market, but then offer these unique specials where we can, if someone's comparatively shopping between Expedia and us, that they're going to end up booking direct with us because of these savings and some of these other benefits. We've had this in place for a while, the Follow and Prosper. If you follow us and book direct, you're going to get a small gift card upon check-in, small benefit. True Blue Perks communication. We rolled out our True Blue Perks in this last year. It's our return guest program, and there's a lot of benefits within the program. So we're working on just communicating more via email to our return audience, and then doing unique offerings to that group, such as, here's an example we did as we rolled into the winter. We did a Black Friday BOGO, buy one, get one free for early December bookings, which are very soft, of course. And then a Cyber Monday 30% off, one day sale at 30% off select dates. Reducing distribution is a big part of our strategy this year. We know we don't need Expedia's help or Vacationer's help to fill Christmas and President's Week and Sundance. And while they try to require us to have inventory at all times, we're selectively cutting off their distribution, especially in these larger units during high demand periods. And we're seeing that have a huge impact, and we're really shifting the bookings away from these third parties to us direct, which has a big impact on our rate and overall revenue. A new social media expert. We hired someone this year that came from managing content in the social media world, and so still kind of, I wouldn't say it's a specialty of ours. It's kind of hard to manage and really correlate revenue within social media, but we're working on continually to expand our communications and get people to remember us, of course, and then book direct. And then lastly, I did want to touch on Vail Resorts. Naturally, that's been the elephant in the room this year. There's a lot going on with Vail, and a few things I want to highlight. Overall, in summary, we're really excited about it. We feel like it's great for the economy, it's great for the lodge, it's great for your real estate asset. There's a lot of positives here. Of course, an enhanced on-mountain experience. They're sinking, I believe it's around $50 million into the resort this year with new high-speed lifts, connecting Park City to the canyons to make the single largest resort in North America, which is very exciting. All of this is going to drive more visitors to Park City, and with more visitors, we're going to see a great impact, and we think that impact will mostly be felt next winter. A lot of things are happening now. A lot of people had already made their plans and where they're going, but next year with with the resort connected and all these upgrades, we think we're going to see a big impact, and we're really going to be pushing rate in particular to take advantage of this. Do we view this as a threat or opportunity, Vail? We very much view it as an opportunity for some of those reasons I just mentioned. More visitors, improved experience. That just means increased occupancy, rate, and revenue for all of our owners. And one of the reasons we're not threatened is, we think Vail's a great company, and they do a lot of things well. But first and foremost, they're a ski resort operator and not a lodging operator. I'm not suggesting they can't chew bubblegum and walk at the same time, but they do a lot of things, and they do them well. But we do one thing, and we do it very well. We do lodging, and it's focused 100% around owners. Owners are our mission, and we know if we're maximizing revenue and experience for our owners, then they're happy and we're happy and making good money. Vail also has a lot of lodging, but so much that if you're in their lodging pool, they don't get the attention that we give our lodging owners. And I could go into more on the Vail area. We're really proud of how we market, and we have a lot of advantages that I could speak to. But anyway, could save that for another time. But that's the end of my presentation. So if you made it this far, congratulations. I appreciate you staying along. And if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call at 435-645-9586. Again, this is Jason Linder, and my email is jason@asrlodging.com. Thank you very much for your time.